All right. I'll leave your house with your gun with 2 shots tonight. And your house have 150 ammunition. That makes sense to you, Muta? Make it be practical now.
If you have 2 bullets in your gun.
You leave your house with a 9mm in your car. Remember, you're a gang leader, so obviously the police will look for you. And bad man will look for you. And you have 2 shots in your gun. Plus a house, 150 round ammunition. How you explain that, Muta?
Well, them can't carry 150 with him go up on the road. So him can't carry another gun.
2 shots?
Well, if a 2
probably him gun hold 2 shots, probably 9mm.
I don't know what gun hold, but so what you say about that? What you say about that?
No, that look hard Muta, man.
See a man come and take film nationalism serious and there's some about it. Nationalism. When we talk about African nationalism and Marcus Garvey, people want to fling up them nose and I go like say that joke thing. Anyway, we're there till 2 o'clock. We have a program line up for you, so you better. I can't tell you put your tape on cock again, you know. Cause the tape that work out again, you understand? But some serious message. Yeah, some serious message was necessary and important in this time. I give him which part of only power head there. We have only power head never there, I shouldn't there. You hear about the little youth, how much you all him is, where rape the little girl, I mean like 6-year-old Rasta. The youth are 6-year-old. Rape the little girl. And so you know, the thing get away, you know. When a 6-year-old can't see it now himself to rape somebody. Something is, when I say something is wrong again, you know. Whole heap of things wrong with the society. Whole heap of things wrong. Serious thing are going on in the earth. We have to really figure it out. We have to figure it out somewhere or another. We have to figure it out. Because it can't just go on, so. No, sir. I mean, I reach a age, you know, but the little youth, I'm glad I'm not youth, you know. You think I'm glad? I'm glad I'm not little youth, you know, because when them little youth, you have to go through now to rotted. Trust me, man, it's a terrible thing. Terrible thing where you have to go through, you know, as a youth. We all the youth, them are going, we need some spirit, kind of come like them and listen. And them understand where I go on. Them I go about the place like everything okay. I mean, when I tell you, if you go around the place and I look for problem and just skin up your face and I say too much problem. But you have to recognize that problem there. And how you going to maneuver yourself is just simple that. Break time, come forward. Next break, you know. I don't hear them mention, say, Stepping Razor will be broadcast there tomorrow. Live from 10 to 2. We'll be in the arena with the Stepping Razor. Okay, so here we go now. We're going to play this to the people, them. Listen well to what we have to tell.
The documentation. Thousands of years before Adam and Eve. And we know that Adam and Eve is the allegorical characters in the Hebrew book, a book called Genesis. And in order to speak about Adam and Eve, we must then give Adam and Eve a date if we are to say that there were no people before or all people came subsequently. Then we must establish a date for Adam and Eve. It is commonly stated in Western circles, particularly in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, that approximately 6,000 years ago, a god, the Jewish god Jehovah, and if you're Christian, then of course the Christian God Jesus the Christ, and obviously if you're Muslim, then it is the Muslim God Allah. created this world. Now, that is difficult for me to understand when you consider that 6,000 years ago, my people along the Nile were doing engineering, science, law, medicine, and a host of other disciplines. Yet the world wasn't here yet. Now, I do not know which world they were operating under. But then let us explore who could have possibly brought about the concept of an Adam and Eve, since it is that it is only in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam you find these two allegorical characters. Since it is that we find it for the first time in the Hebrew Bible, or Jewish Bible, a Bible called the Chumash, or the Pentateuch, and such other name, as well as the Torah, otherwise called the 5 books of Moses, we would find that the Jews presented this for the first time to the world. We must then find who are the Jews that presented it, since all the Jews did not write it. The first time we are to have the Adam and Eve concept comes out of the Jewish intellectual circle, a system called the Sanhedrin, S-A-N-H-E-D-R-I-N. The Sanhedrin put out that book, or started to write that book, in approximately 700 BC, and completed it around 500 BC. The person to whom they gave credit for the story of bringing into the world the concept of Jehovah, the Jewish God, Yahweh, was a man called Avram, A-V-R-M, who changed his name to Abraham, assuming, we must assume, as he stated, that an angel of this God came to him while at state in a dream. You would find that all of the prophets got their messages by dreams. And all of the other writers got their state of information by dream. Not a solitary one being sober at the time and at a state of consciousness. But we find that Abraham was not born till approximately 1775 BC. This will put Abraham's birth sometime between the 13th dynastic period of the Africans of the Nile Valley. Meaning then, if we are to use the chronological data of most Western European writers, who gave the first dynastic period of Egypt anywhere from about 5000 BC to about 3100 BC, we will find then that at least the first dynasty of the Africans was at minimum more than 1500 years before the birth of the first Jew, Abraham. More so, that Abraham himself, based upon the Jews, along with his own parents, were worshiping an African goddess by the name of Hathor, symbolized by a cow with a sun disk between her horns. The sun disk symbolizing Amen-Ra, the god of the ancient Africans of the Nile, not only Egypt, Amen being the god of the north and Ra being the god of the south. When Nama, this African king, fought Scorpio, the other king, the king to the north, himself to the south, defeated Scorpio, joined the two states into one, making one Egypt, or the beginning of dynastic Egypt. That combination of the two states, bringing the two concepts of God, Amen and Ra, created for the Egyptians and others in that area a single unity, a single deity by the name of Amen-Ra. Now, the Africans along the Nile, and in particular Egypt, had already worshipped a god by the name of Ptah, or Ptah, P-T-A-H. Ptah was the god prior to the first dynasty and the prominent god up until the third dynasty. Sometime around the third dynasty, we find that the ancient Africans of Egypt, otherwise called Egyptians today, introduced another god, and that was the god Amun-Ra. But let us go farther. Along with the introduction of Ptah and Amun-Ra were other sources of information relating to deity. One, it was at that time that the Africans revised their sacred book, their Bible, a book called the Book of the Coming Forth by Day and by Night, to which an Englishman by the name of Ernest A. Wallace Budge, in his translation from the hieratic writing, one of the most ancient writings today by the Africans, part of what is today called hieroglyph, Budge translating that did not take the literary translation of the title, but took one of these, we would say, titles that would draw attention and call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, using Budge's description for it, we will find an important section. That section is called the Osirian drama. Osiris was in the extology of the ancient Africans of the Nile, the god who was the direct son. This one should bring a lot of attention to most of you. The direct son of the god Amun-Ra or Ptah, depending on what period of time you're speaking about. Osiris was the god whose mother had him by a virgin birth, whose mother conceived him by an immaculate conception. I am speaking about 4,100 years before Jesus the Christ. May I repeat that because it may be difficult for many of you. I said that Osiris, the god I'm speaking about, who is sometimes said to be simultaneously Horus, and at other times the father of Horus. Irrespective, let us replace him with Horus. And he becomes the father of Horus. Therefore, what we have here is that the father Osiris, the son of the god Ptah, had a child who was supposedly conceived by his mother, the goddess Isis, and who gave birth to Horus by a virgin birth 4,100 years before Mary did the same thing again. Now, this should be difficult to a lot of you born-again Christians, because you have been told that the first and only time that such a story was told was 1982 years ago. Let me not disappoint you further by saying that Jesus is the last of 16 such crucified saviors.
No, we have been featuring Ben Canaan since the beginning of Cutting Edge in the 90s. And as a matter of fact, IRFM brought him here twice brought him here. And he have a wealth of knowledge and some books. If you want, you can go out and look for his books. His books is very revealing. Very revealing. Now want to play this brethren here who we also brought here, Reggae. Who remember Reggae when we have him in the studio? And we did keep the Marcus Garvey thing out where the place name, where the museum there, out of Rockabessa there, so don't remember the name of the place. Shane there? I wonder if Shane there.
Yeah, talk out of Rainwaver,
Rainwaver Beach. Yeah, we brought him Rainwaver Beach, and we had him on the program the whole night. I mean, I tell you, it was something else. The next day, it was something else, because where must say Well, if I want never hear them something they yet nowhere at all. And we bring him on the radio. We want to play this clip by Reggae. Listen.
Everybody read what you see on the screen for me. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here within this circle. I must keep in mind that there's more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Did y'all grab that? Yeah. I start all of my lectures off with this. And the reason why I do that, brothers and sisters, is simply because I am a teacher. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. Now, what does that mean? That means that when I stand up to talk, I am going to say something that you don't already know. Because if I only say what you already know, then I'm not teaching you anything. Got me? Gotcha. Now the problem is, we have all been programmed to immediately reject what we hear that is not inside our circle of awareness. You follow what I'm saying? So, that's the reason for this, because I know I'm going to say some stuff, and when I get ready to say something that I know is outside of your circumference of awareness, I'm going to say, hold that circle up, hold that circle up, all right, so that so it kind of prepares you for what I'm about to say that you don't like there is no Jesus. You see what I'm saying? See? Okay? I know it's a little hard to digest, but as we get through this today, I hope you'll understand a little bit better. Moving on, why do I stand up and do what I do? Why? The whole reason why I get out the bed every day, the whole reason why I go on the air and talk to people all over the world every day, it's my life, is so that I can begin the process of undoing or reversing ideas and concepts that have been what? Programmed. Programmed, that's an important word. Programmed into the minds of our people by what? The religious statements and what else? Certain doctrines that have caused us to adopt a belief system that is what? Resulted in our loss of contact with what is real, factual, historical, and spiritual. Y'all grab this. I want you to understand why Brother Ray is here. Okay, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to do exactly that. I want to say something today that will really begin the process of undoing the programming. The programming that got us messed up, the programming that literally has disconnected us from reality. Okay? I got an email, I sent out an email blast just a couple of days ago. I was up to about 3 o'clock in the morning writing this thing. A young lady asked me to prove to her, she's been listening to Black Liberation Radio lately, she asked me to prove to her that Jesus never existed, or that Moses never existed. See, and I sent this long email back trying to explain to her it is impossible to prove the non-existence of a thing. Think with me for a moment. If something never existed, how can I prove that it doesn't exist? So I told her, I said, let me reverse the challenge. Prove to me that they did exist. And I will pay all of your living expenses for the rest of your life. You see? That's what we should be. And I asked her, I said, you're asking me to prove to you that there was no Adam, there was no Eve, there was no Noah, you asked me to prove this to you. Did you ask your original teachers who taught you this to prove to you then that they existed? No. The answer is no. I didn't do it. I was raised with a belief system. I was raised in a belief system. And I accepted it, I digested it without ever verifying the existence of anybody I had been taught about. Can I get a witness? If you would be honest with me, you have to say, well, he is telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Telling the truth, because that is right. We didn't stop to ask for proof. And we grew up believing it until somewhere in our psycho paradigm, it has become our reality. It has become our reality. That doesn't mean it's real, though. It simply means it's our reality. Am I making sense so far? Yes. Cool. So what's deep is when you honestly believe that a person raised somebody from the dead, or when you honestly believe that somebody took 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and fed over 5,000 people. I mean, when you honestly believe that somebody broke God's laws of nature and walked on water. Now, trust me, I am a psychotherapist by profession, okay? And what we call the manual we use for determining psychoanalysis. Diagnostic manual, thank you, brother. Okay, in there's a code that means if you believe something that is not in the context of fact and reality, you have a mental disorder. For example, if you believe that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you wouldn't even say it alone. If you believe that, as an adult, something's wrong. You follow me? Because that's not with fact, real, and reality. It's not historical. Okay? Religion has done that to us. It has us believing stuff that's got us messed up as a people. Now y'all see why I have security. Now I know that's funny. Captain will bear witness to what I'm saying. Brother's known me for a long time. Preachers are the ones who have threatened me. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Pastors are the ones who have said, we're going to stop you by any means necessary. And the only thing I've asked them to do is invalidate what I've said. I ain't selling drugs, man. I'm not a drug dealer.
But they are.
You're a drug dealer. They're selling a drug called religion. Right. See? I'm not messing with nobody's child like some of them are. You see? I'm just trying to tell the truth. So why do you, National Baptist Convention, want to shut me down? I was on the air one Sunday morning, and Captain radioed up to the radio station for him to come down and said, Chief, why don't you stay up there for a while? But there's somebody down here. We got to deal with this person. I said, well, who is it? He says, there's a man down here waiting to see you. I said, well, is he armed? He said, no. I said, well, I'm coming down then. You know, hey, I'm a man, he's a man. You know? I ain't no punk. We punk. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep because as soon as I stepped out of the radio station, Captain bear witness, this brother charged at me and I got to subdue him. He was one of the ministers in St. Louis because he was under a mandate to stop me. You see? So it's really deep that I have to go through this from religiously. You know?
Serious thing.
Based in racism. It was a narrative created by colonizers, like my Portuguese ancestors, in order to justify what they were doing to other people on the continent of Africa and even here in North America. And the narrative was, that we white people were better than all other races. And they did so through Christianity. They took the Bible and different scripture verses, twisted it around in order to fit the narrative of colonialism and white supremacy, and also the patriarchy. And the patriarchy is white man in power. White supremacy is white man in power. Colonialism is white man in power. And Christianity, for the most part nowadays, is white man in power. There are historical references and proof where the Catholic Church actually said to enslave an African was to save their soul. The kidnapped and enslaved Africans that were here in North America were preached different scripture verses than were actually in the Bible. And that's why they weren't allowed to read. Because if they could read, then they could see that these scripture verses were incorrect and they couldn't be controlled anymore by this white God. And white people, we didn't identify as white until colonialism. We identified as Portuguese or Latvian or German or Italian or French. But then colonialism came around, and then all of a sudden we became white and we were superior because we were the chosen race by God, and the scripture verses proved it. And we had to go into other people's lands and preach the gospel when really it was all a ruse. It was all an excuse to go in and rape and pillage the land and the people and the cultures. So when I say that white culture is based in racism, it's based in racism. Christianity was the Trojan horse of white supremacy and colonialism. And Western Christianity, as we know today, is still based within superiority. All Christians think that they're better than everybody else. I grew up in it. I'm very familiar with the culture. And it's part of the problem. There's a reason why most of Trump's supporters are Christians. It's because they don't even realize that the conditioning of colonialism and Christianity and the patriarchy is so deeply embedded within them and their identity that they don't even see the truth. Christianity is based in superiority, in white superiority, in white culture, which is all based in racism.
Balancing.
I can see I can because it play it. Try play it. Can see if I can play it, that the people can hear it. Very important that we bring these things to you. All right, I'm going to do some mechanics. I have to make it play. Okay. Here we go now.
Before you can even talk or inventing
Okay. Okay.
You can even talk or inventing a cure for cancer at just 14 years old. But who are they? In this video, let's know about these ones and more. Number 7, Jude Kofi. At just 11 years old, Jude Kofi is already being called one of the greatest pianists in the world. But here's the crazy part. He never had a single lesson. Jude was born prematurely with a heart condition and later diagnosed with autism, but none of that stopped him. One day, he stumbled upon an old keyboard in his father's basement, and instead of just pressing random keys like most kids, he started playing actual music like a trained professional. His talent was so mind-blowing that Bill Magnuson, a piano expert, gifted him a $115,000 grand piano because he recognized Jude as a Mozart-level talent. Now this self-taught genius is playing on TV shows, inspiring millions, and proving that pure talent always finds a way to shine. Number 6, Devon Freitas. Most 2-year-olds are learning to count to 10, but Devon was already solving advanced math problems before he could even talk properly. When he appeared on America's Got Talent, he left the judges completely speechless. From simple calculations to multiplying huge numbers in seconds, he answered everything with ease. Even crazier, his first word wasn't mama or dada, it was 7. His parents noticed early on that he would cry when they changed the channel away from education.
Hey, how I know all of them youth I hear about are some black youth, you know. Yeah, not no white people, are some black youth.
Educational math videos. This little genius was born to calculate. Number 5, Stacy Frew. At just 7 years old, Stacy Frew wrote her first book without her parents even knowing, and she didn't stop there. By the age of 9, she started her own foundation to help kids in her home country, South Africa. And by 10, she launched her own TV channel. Now she's on the list of the most influential South Africans, rubbing shoulders with politicians and business moguls, most of whom have probably been working longer than she's been alive. Number 4, Herman Bekele. At just 14 years old, Herman Bekele may have done something that scientists have been struggling with for decades. He developed a cure for skin cancer. As a young boy in Ethiopia, he saw people working long hours under the hot sun, often suffering from sun damage. After moving to the U.S., he realized how big the problem of skin cancer was and decided to do something about it. Herman created a low-cost soap that can prevent and treat skin cancer, winning the 3M Young Scientist Challenge and earning the title of Time's 2024 Kid of the Year. Number 3, Esther Okade. Most 10-year-olds are learning long division, but Esther Okade was already taking university courses. This Nigerian-British math prodigy took and passed the UK's GCSE exams at age 6. Exams that students 10 years older than her struggle with. By 10 years old, she had enrolled in the Open University, where she is currently working on her degree in mathematics. And get this, her next goal is to complete a PhD by age 14. Number 2, Cache Quest. At just 2 years old, Cache Quest became the youngest member of Mensa, the world's top IQ society. To put that in perspective, her IQ is 146, which is higher than the average adult genius. By 18 months, she was speaking in complete sentences, identifying all 50 U.S. states just by their shapes, and reciting the entire periodic table of elements. Number 1, Jeremiah Addo. Jeremiah Addo from Ghana has a mind like a computer. While most kids his age struggle to remember their own address, Jeremiah can name the capital city of almost every country on earth. By the age of 3, he already memorized the entire Bible. Yes, from Genesis to Revelation. He can also multiply 2 or 3 digit numbers in seconds, leaving adults completely shocked at his abilities. Here's a quick question. Which of these black kids do you think is the most intelligent and the future's brilliant mind?
Addressing the youth and their calamity. Motivated by concern for the whole of our liberty. The promise of a new reality.
From them time there, new listeners now, CM education, new listeners. We have to play them because them can't get old. It's history. People without knowledge of them history like a tree without root. Marcus Garvey said that. Take the break and come forward. Break time.
Why do
you Masikela, big artist, come to Jamaica already, perform in a Sunsplash. Yes. Was married to Miriam Akiba one time too. Yes, big artist, big artist. Trumpet, blow the trumpet. Okay, so we depend this, what we call now revival of some of the things them that we used to play from them time there. And we call them educational because a whole heap of the information that is on these tapes, it's not available just normally, so you never go in a school in a Jamaica and hear anything like this. You never hear it. So, you know, it's madness. And that I'm going to say it's madness. Where you hear is madness. But how them decide it's madness? Decide it's madness because they never hear nothing like that yet. And it not conform to how them see things. It's one thing to hear something and decide say, but no evidence not there, you can't prove it to me. You have to go really show me how you come to that conclusion. But some of these people, from they hear it one time and say foolishness. One time they want to hear it and say foolishness. And what them call foolishness is because it don't conform to what them say as what it's supposed to mean, what it's supposed to be. That is the problem with we as African people. We're so caught up in a film thing. White people business. We're so caught up in it that anytime we hear things that relate to we, or anytime we hear things where we need to go really figure it out, we don't want to figure out nothing. We just take what them tell you and that is it. That's all we have to do, just regurgitate. Regurgitate what them tell me. And that is it. Them know why you know why you're nothing outside of where you will start or where you brought up in her. And that is a big problem. Very, very, very big problem.
Christianity weaponized through white supremacy. At this point, I'm going to talk about colonial Christianity from the perspective of it being engineered to deceive and undermine people of color, and in particular Africans. Within this context, we will see how something that was developed by people of color, which was appropriated by Europeans and then used against them as a strategic weapon. You've heard of atomic warfare, nuclear warfare, and chemical warfare. Well, this is spiritual warfare in which a religion is deliberately weaponized and aimed at a continent and its people for destruction. It is well known that Christianity has its origins in Judaism, which was crafted in Africa by Africans and peoples of color. It is not an oppressive religion by nature, even though today one can pick out any number of oppressive tenets from the Old Testament to the New, and there are many dark periods in its history, such as the Inquisition, which was as savage as any other religious legacy in history. You'll find that social laws will change, and you can observe some of these changes throughout the Bible as well as in the history of Christianity. Yet, the idea that Jesus died for the sins of mankind and that all who believe in him shall be saved is the unchangeable message of Christianity, and many believed and were baptized, but how many black souls were actually saved? The conversion of the so-called pagan African to Christianity, however, did not absolve their blackness, and as such the Christianity that Europeans prescribed for Africans denied them freedom and subsequently denied blacks salvation. The colonialists ensured that the black man was not going to escape the clutches of slavery, even if he was to abandon his indigenous so-called pagan traditions and embrace the white man's Christianity. If all men were equal in the sight of God, the melanin of the African skin denied them equal footing with their white Christian brothers and sisters, and no amount of Jesus's blood could cleanse Africans from the plague of blackness. All loopholes and possibilities for freedom were closed off, and even though a Christian, Africans would not achieve justice through Christianity, as it was designed to bind blacks to illusions about the white man as well as themselves. The Bible wouldn't be as effective a tool of conversion without the many icons illustrating the white man as the perfect expression of God's image. This is how Christianity was weaponized to arm Europeans and to blind and bind Africans even more securely into slavery. The slave masters discovered that slaves whom converted to Christianity became docile and were more manageable and apt to conform to his rules, as opposed to those Africans that held fast to their indigenous spirituality and traditions. Christianity was then considered a good antidote for blacks, and as such, used as a vaccine to inoculate and quarantine Africans from their own spirituality. Isn't salvation the golden promise of Christianity, offering shelter from the ills of the world and of this life? So it appears on the surface, and thus it's preached, but no, Christianity was not used to liberate the souls of Africans, but was enforced upon them as a mind trap that gave the colonialists the advantage over them mentally and physically.
We want to take a break and come forward to this. So we could take the break, come forward. Listen to it carefully. That's why we play it.
The advantage over them mentally and physically. Today, millions of African people still live in this mind trap, and many will not break free, and even when they miraculously manage to escape it, the conditioning runs so deep that it usually takes the rest of their lives in an active process of recovery. In Justice Denied, the black man in white America, Leroy Jones, in his Afro-Christian music and religion states, the Christian slave became more of an American slave, or at least a more westernized slave, than the one who tried to keep his older African traditions. The slave masters also learned early that the Africans who had begun to accept the Christian ethic or even some crude part of its dogma were less likely to run away or start rebellions or uprisings. Weaponized Christianity is one of the deadliest devices ever created to destroy a people. Once armed, it will offer no forgiveness or mercy. It is programmed to defend white supremacy and prone to target and crucify all else outside of that particular scope. It will execute judgment with extreme prejudice against indigenous cultures and people of color, while distorting the history and realities of millions. There is no doubt that based on the noble ideals of most religions, that they could be used to serve the greater good of humankind, yet with knowledge of subsequent events over thousands of years, this is still unattained by the world's biggest and most dominant religions. It is therefore with great skepticism that most religious beliefs will be viewed by today's generation of truth seekers. In his hit song, No White God, reggae superstar Sizzla Kalonji asks, "Can a white God save me from the white man oppression?" This is a profound question as it is pertinent to the African state of affairs within the context of Christianity. Martin Luther King Jr. was also critical and had become disenchanted with the church and its ability to support right action and condemn the profane. While being held in a Birmingham jail, he wrote in a letter, "Perhaps I have once again been too optimistic. Is organized religion too inextricably bound to the status quo to save our nation and the world? Perhaps I must turn my faith to the inner spiritual church, the church within the church, as the true ecclesia and the hope of the world." The church that Martin was referring to is the church in which he became a true believer, being the son and grandson of ministers and preachers. However, he could no longer feel confident in a church that would remain silent at oppression and turn a blind eye to blatant injustice. He understood that the church should be a pillar in the Negro community, a nucleus of spiritual nourishment and material support, but Dr. King was looking at the bigger picture and was able to see through stained glass the failure of the church from a nationalistic perspective and felt the death of moral decency and the absence of concern for the oppressed. He was looking at Christian America and was very disturbed by their inaction toward supporting justice. You can feel his emotions when he said, "I must honestly reiterate that I have been disappointed with the church." I do not say this as one of those negative critics who can always find something wrong with the church. I say this as a minister of the gospel who loves the church, who was nurtured in its bosom, who has been sustained by its spiritual blessings, and who will remain true to it as long as the cord of life shall lengthen. When I was suddenly catapulted into the leadership of the bus protest in Montgomery, Alabama, a few years ago, I felt we would be supported by the white church. I felt that the white ministers, priests, and rabbis of the South would be our strongest allies. Instead, some have been outright opponents, refusing to understand the freedom movement and misrepresenting its leaders. All too many others have been more cautious than courageous and have remained silent behind the anesthetizing security of stained glass windows. After hearing Dr. King's expectations and concerns with the church, it reminded me of the Ethiopian-Italian conflict of 1935-36, where the fascist Italian dictator Mussolini invaded the Eritrea-Ethiopian border as an excuse to totally invade Ethiopia. As a League of Nations member, Italy broke the agreement signed by all member states to not engage in any wars of conquest, but especially with another League member as was Ethiopia. It is this particular part of history that is most interesting to me when juxtaposed with the Martin Luther King Jr.'s dissatisfaction with the church. The utter abandonment of the lone African League of Nations member was a classic case in history, illustrated, on an international level, the blatant injustice and crimes meted out to Ethiopia. Haile Selassie's impassioned plea for the League to address the situation, the blatant atrocities of one member state to another, were to go unheard. The racist League of Nations refused to protect Ethiopia's interests. The very reason they were developed was to intervene and execute judgment and justice on behalf of moral order and righteousness, which it failed at miserably and was disbanded thereafter. In the wake of the League's failure to defend the principles that it was designed to uphold, the now exiled Emperor Haile Selassie would then appeal to the World Council of Churches and the American Church in particular, but he was to be denied by the Church as well.
Balancing truth and the controversy. Addressing the youth.
Can't get it straight, man. We shall even have a talk. Why, them artists have a way to put words. Trust me, them artists have a way to put words. So you know, as we are saying, we're going to take some call after 12. Meanwhile, in between time, we do something like this.
That means what? That if black people want to catch up, we have to start saving wealth and passing it to the next generation. Our biggest problem ain't that we're splurging, is that every time we splurge, we're stealing for our descendants. You're giving them no inheritance to get started with. But the white child, they're starting out $100,000 plus, $1 million plus. And I think we have to become more strategic in the way that we do our health plans, as well as our life insurance plans. Because what I'm learning with a lot of these white folk, a lot of them are getting their first, what you want to call a shock survival instinct. We're only worrying about our life. We do not think about those who come after. How does a people who are at the bottom waste money more than people who are at the top?
Big lessons. Big lessons in the night, yeah. We're going to take a break. It's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. No? Okay. We're the 12 o'clock Monday.
Brothers and sisters, this is...
Long time I don't hear from you, man.
Yeah, but we still about a listener. Meditate and take care of fullness still.
I think Trump did promote you.
One thing we have to say, you see with the school camp going there. And say, all of them youth there will enter. Supposed to get something, you know.
Like
whether first, second, third, or if I go to bag, man.
Which youth them you talk about?
The school youth them enter the champs.
All of them to get something?
Yeah, man.
Why all of them will get something?
Because hard work, you don't go to
then if right, so the school will get something will come first in our race.
Yeah.
Yeah, go get the man will come 10th in the same race. You will give him something too.
Encouragement.
Them know that race already. Them know that race already, man.
They work hard, you know, man. They work hard, man. Every one of them should get it. If I'm on phone, if I'm on look back, goes to bag.
Then you know, see them not get that. Or you know, see them not get
them get it, that's all, boy. That's them should get it. Them deserve it, man.
Okay.
Encouragement, sweet labor, you know.
Yeah, them get to encouragement. If I see them there, encouragement, make them reach the still.
Yeah, but I say, them train hard.
No, man, me hear what you say, man. Me hear what you say.
Work for energy. So work for that, them go on with.
Yeah.
So we supposed to simply out them and see what you. But we have sponsor out the man, just sponsor enough youth and youth. Because them parents have support them too, you know. So them can support the youth themselves and the youth.
No, you have some youth in our KC team there. When I come from here, so you know, them get sponsored. That is something I want to talk about, you know. I forgot to get a man who not supposed to talk about that, you know. Yeah, you have some youth where come from Africa, them get bought by the KC people, them.
Boy, they can run, you know, man.
For run for KC, yeah.
And hard, man, them tough. They can't follow them. You know, them long race,
Yeah.
So I say, with everything done, I use my future, you know. All we have the future with them too. So we have to see them go right.
All right.
I will parang that go on in that system and I yes, you know.
That's true, man.
Because I see it come like some of them are gambling with youth and you know. Because the behavior and the deceiving really bad, you know. Really bad. Man, they need to butt up themselves and more time them come on radar and think that cheap excuse and we'll put this and that and more time. Yeah, they need to do better than that, man. They need to treat the youth them proper. Give the youth them encouragement more than that. Them to them useful and they have a right to be here on earth as you just like all of it. You can't take away some of them right and get to the next. Them things that cause difficulty in our system. And them things we want to get rid of. Because honesty is the best of policy, everything, you know. Everything we do. The more we can honest, the more we have a better life, we have a better world, we have a better movement for people. People don't have to hide and push on and go on and
I said, boy, things because what in the darkness have to forward in the light, you know. So the matter man, you know, when I go on and feel like see them do something, everything you do, someone see you. I know so that, yeah, wow, enough people not talk out. Because the system don't work, right? Because them not trust certain people when I system to cause all of them like a sellout.
So you really believe say everything with somebody see them?
Yeah, man. Someone see them. Everything. Yeah, man. Everything on earth someone do. Someone did that to them severely, but some people not talk.
How only thing me do when nobody not see me still?
Well, you see yourself.
No, then you say somebody. You say somebody, you know me. Myself and not somebody.
Just like how the one say, I hope I think we do. But even myself, I know to what if I something we do, we shouldn't never do, you know. But chance even there, I say, you know, say, yeah, the guilt and them things, you know, go on. Even yourself, no matter who you are.
Okay,
you know, yeah. Because I see one burden, and we bring down burden for ourselves by the deeds, you know. Because no matter how rich or we're poor, everyone has to answer to them deeds.
All right, sir.
And where you go, the deeds are the way you. You see all these things with brother to artists, them are fight about them are king on this food, the man who's king on. Every man a king in their own rights. For them to realize, organize and know to watch out. Some man have a different approach to things more than some man, you know, in our music system. Because some man, we are come out of them mouth, them shouldn't come from radar or ear or nowhere. Them to keep them something then at them bedroom, man. You see it. And stop them with a filthy dance and want to come to king. King like that.
King can be filthy, king can be filthy too, you know. I know the king righteous, you know. King can be filthy too.
I know that, man. That's why I said that. Yeah.
So you have a filthy king now.
What's up? A whole party them send out there, like, you know, we affect people and affect the youth themselves, you know.
Yeah.
Because you them take it up and I deal with it. Boy, see, the youth when you're being a man. Are you there? You know, some respect him on a level, you know. Because something where we hear some man do, the man there, mouth not scared away there.
The mouth not say so?
No.
Or the mouth of the scared, or them feel their mouth say?
The words, they have come out of them mouth, man. They have come out of them breath, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the man I say, are you there? The king of all king, man.
Oh, I'm a king of kings now.
Yeah. within the tradition of the music.
You got far, you come king of kings.
Yeah.
And lord of lords.
So, every man is for them own tune and for them own argument, kill themselves over honor. You have to work for honor. Honor yourself first. That means you are doing things with respect. That no one happens to buy. Man, the mouth nasty, dirty.
Yeah, but there are some people who say the man mouth nasty and dirty, and they never say the man a king. Even though my talk nasty and dirty thing, them still say my king.
Yeah.
I know every king not talk. You have a whole king with the nastiness, you know.
Yeah, man, no for them, man.
So that don't mean say man no king. Man a king was a nasty king. That means say man no king.
Filthy. Yeah.
Anyway, we have to move, you're there long, you know, you're there long, we have to move.
Yeah. So we have to tell the politicians them to behave themselves and not stop the whole for
them not stop, man. Them not stop. All right,
so them have get a beat, you know. All of them have get a beat, man.
All right, so we have to move. We have to move.
Man, highly educated. And you don't find nowhere in Jamaica educated people them way. Nowhere.
Yeah.
So I have to run up to the car park and come back, man.
They don't have to say that sleep.
I say, Mr. Sleep out for lick my car. You know, 2 down companies, 2 hours, 9 o'clock pick up some slack for listen to your program and boy, 4, 6 6 knock. Almost 2,000 and I may sell lady. I don't take up no meat, come in really. 4 meat and a flour and chicken. A woman with 2 picnic and a man. Where she do come? I no pay rent, nah like. I don't complete pay feet. And I can't manage 2,000.
So you run go back to the car. So you run go back to the car and do what? Where you go back?
No, I run go back in the driveway. Run go for just get my body ready. I can kind of sit down. I get too lazy and drop us.
Okay.
So big up to Mandingo and my version last part. But Muta, quick thing now. From King Yellow Man no crown no DJ. You know, I'm a king apart from King Yellow Man. I am telling you that, Muta. Why King Yellow Man don't crown Beanie Man or Cartel? Who are the king of DJ? From King Yellow Man no crown, because if Andrew lose election now, don't Andrew make some speech and congratulate him opponent or him rival Muta?
Not necessarily. So what you are saying, Yellow Man are the king of dancehall?
Yellow Man are the king of dancehall, man. No
so
question.
Who was the king of dancehall before Yellow Man?
Are you right?
No, you ask me and me ask you.
You're right.
So you right never crown Yellow Man?
Well, I don't know them do it them time there.
Well, them at the same time, them do it, so them do it now, and say different.
No, but them say things evolve. All right, Muta, some quick thing before time run out.
Yeah, it run out
if you are a wanted man, run a gang, police them mention you, say you want to run a gang. All right? And you leave your house with your gun with 2 shots tonight. And your house have 150 ammunition. That makes sense to you, Muta? Make it be practical now.
If you have 2 bullets in your gun.
You leave your house with a 9mm in your car. Remember, you're a gang leader, so obviously the police will look for you. And bad man will look for you. And you have 2 shots in your gun. Plus a house, 150 round ammunition. How you explain that, Muta?
Well, them can't carry 150 with him go up on the road. So him can't carry that gun.
2 shots?
Well, if a 2
probably him gun hold 2 shots, probably 9mm.
I don't know what gun hold, but so what you say about that?
No, that look hard, Muta, man.
Look hard that him have 2 shots in the gun.
And 150 round ammunition I am.
Yeah, but him not go carry 150 ammunition and walk with.
But him I carry if the gun holding 14, him load them gun.
Look, 14.
With 14, but I explain. Yeah, but say a policeman
with one. Maybe that gunman.
All right, but not deserve to be a gang leader then. Deserve to be a gang leader. So, and I say, whenever I say a police, if I say a police with a M16, him have a 9 inside, to them I say 1. About 3 magazines plus an extension clip long like a man.
So why you bring up that about the man will come out with 2 shots?
So why them shoot yesterday upon Molazo? But just find it, I don't know. But as
them shoot a gang leader with 2 shots in them gun.
Yeah, yesterday upon
and them go in yard and find 100 hard.
50 round ammunition.
50, okay. I hear that gunman that.
Hear that gunman. I hear you preach them daily to them to leave the gun. Them to load the gun.
Yeah.
Good. But Muta, quick last thing. Let me know.
No, you have to take a break. We have to take a break. Take a break. Break that.
Minutes past 12 o'clock.
Sorry.
It's Expo Jamaica 2025.
Yes, Muta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they hear the Prime Minister this month, but unfortunately, we drop us deep in that talk on the FinSac report for one of them station there near the British High Commission. I'm not calling them, now I get no free advertisement beside the High Commission. I talk more things. But to show you these guys are hypocrite and can make the people in Jamaica life better. And I mentioned the FinSac thing. When them coming up, was it all the Shah said to publish a FinSac report was too expensive, and then Nigel Clark came back with the same thing, Muta?
No, but the Prime Minister, the FinSac, before the Prime Minister, you know.
No, but if him, all right, Muta, if you're my competitor, you don't have PJ participation. But them should have disclosed what took place to the people since there was a new party that took over after PJ. Why them keep that a secret? Is it because the 2 political party benefit like Petrojam? No, it's me coming, Muta, and me supposed to I work for the people. And me find so there was some problem or some misappropriate our fund. Me not have to come and give a report for tell the people themselves, all right, since Muta came out of office, I discover A, B, and C Muta, right? Why is it that them spend money for do the finstock all the time, whatever, but yes, still the Jamaican people can't get the report. And I use them brain pan people, but it's too expensive for report. That makes sense to you, Muta. All the Shah said that. Okay. And then Nigel Clark took it up and said, to publish it again, it was too expensive. But now, them are talk about if PMP get it at FinStack too, and now the Prime Minister gave some rundown what took place. As I said, Muta, if it's sure on 100 million years in front of me for vote for PMP, now Labour I will never. All right, finally. May I show them people are hypocritical bad. Paul will talk about JP is supposed to do some new contract, something like that, Muta.
Yeah.
Paul will complain to how the government do the re-contract without for them opinion or the not having them by the table. Why would you want to have Paul by the table? That them make the deal with JPS to give them powers that them can't raise. Them pay every second to create hardship and gas, oil and water because electricity run everything motor. So you see the level of hypocritical behavior of them people, behave them have sense when them out of power about them in a power nonsense. Why me want to hear a power? I say because obviously you never do nothing to make the Jamaica people like better because if you give a man this free and this for raise every second, when them raise every second, how much of we have pay for our bread motor? $1 million.
They're not only that, they make people who are thief light. You have to pay for them who not thief now.
Thank you, Muta. And I come and behave like them as some messiah. Them because still don't know because them did I read Petro Jam, the whole of them, and now them a come board them want deal for that. No, we need new idea now. Because I tell me, sir, we have a third party in the Muta. I just start, but anyway, a long life. 3 birds in call me and say, I beg you, play one burning spear, Ethiopian ticket. Lift it up.
Ethiopian what?
Ethiopian lift it up. One of them come, couldn't lift it up. White man come, because you know a black power say. Long life again, Muta. Big up shit.
All right, sir. Okay, so the man so must play a burning spear, live it out. A burning spear, live it out. And that the true name, live it out. Because if we can't get it straight, get it straight.
Well, go on, cool. I just want to say condolences to the family of Leon Paul Fender, Jamaican sound system owner and operator in South London, Brixton, Battersea, who died yesterday at 10 minutes to 6 London time in the Lewisham General Hospital, University Hospital. You know, I was by his bedside, was my brethren with his brother Percy, niece Nadia, and Janet and Dada, a brethren. You know, we had to deal it for some time.
We'll kill him.
And, well, he had some, like, various ailments, you know, heart and other problems and so. And he had a sound, well-known sound called Renegade, you know. Nickname was Herbie, you know, so it's him, Herbie, Renegade Sound from South London. You know, he used to go to school in Battersea, and he came here and he's a man well-known in Brixton, Battersea, South London. So, condolences to the family of Herbie Renegade who passed away. You know, I was by his bedside, and I was there the day before, you know, the good brethren, you know. So another, one of the best selector operators, man. When you hear him play music, man, it's just a joy. And I used to play with him at dances also, you know what I mean? And things. So just letting people know, you know. And I want to say that I agree with the brother before when he said that showing the collusion between GLP and PNP is GLP refusing to publish the FinStat report about its so-called too expensive, you know, it's collusion and what you and him were talking about with the Paul, well, ism with electricity, the GPS and that type of thing. Rip off the people, off the people. You know?
Them in collusion with the big guys.
In collusion, 6 or 1/2 a dozen of the other. Eh? You know? We really need a Marcus Garvey Pan-Africanist party in Jamaica, as we know. And by the way, there's going to be a Melanin conference this Saturday from 1:30 to 6:30 by Trinity Church, 90 Hartford Road, London, NW11. Where the topic is, what is melanin and why it is vital for your health and vitality and longevity, and how you can nourish and protect it, you know. And you have speakers like Leon Marshall, Emmanuel, Emavar, and Daryl Pepper, you know. So I intend to be there and think the importance of melanin. And melanin is a subject that you have spoken about on many different occasions, you know what I mean?
I don't know what we not speak about.
What you say?
I don't know what we not speak about.
May I tell you?
Right now, we do some revision right now with some clips of Ben Buchanan and all them, man.
Yes, Dr. Ben, the elder teacher, man. Reggae, I remember years ago, about 1980 or so, when we bring him in Trinidad and him speak at St. Augustine University there. I must find that tape and send a copy to you so you can play it, man.
We bring him to Jamaica twice. You bring him twice,
yeah.
Yeah, man, him not there in the studio with me, man.
Okay.
It was
about 1980, brought him to Trinidad where he spoke at the auditorium, St. Augustine, where, you know, I was the hosted it, you know, as the MC and thing. Dr. Ben, man. Great Pan-Africanist and thing. And people here, especially who have the young children and so, you know, not feeling good about Keir Starmer wanting to send troops to Ukraine, you know. You know, because the children, yes, because his children not going to Ukraine, and of course the Russians saying that they're not going to tolerate British and French troops in the Ukraine at all. And you can definitely see. And you know, even Trump don't want that at all. You know what I mean? You see?
Trump use up his mouth and frighten people, man.
He might use and frighten people who him can frighten. And what I think with the immigration thing that him coming, that people coming into the USA now, customs take away your phone to examine what's in your phone and what communications you have on your phone and what you do with your phone and that type of thing, you know.
That happening in America?
Yes. It has.
Really, everybody who are going to America, them take them phone and check it?
At the discretion, you say, like say you're coming in as passenger.
A random check.
Right, exactly.
Oh, because it can't be everybody who are coming, man.
No, not everybody. But what happens is that with the random check, is a lot of people this has happened to. And you don't know when it's going to be your turn.
No, it's a random thing, you know, I don't know.
Precisely. But this is an invasion of people's privacy.
So what them do? What them take your phone with them do? Spot them carry go in the room and do what?
Yes, them carry in the room and ask you for, you know, your phone have a code, your thing, and to open it so that them can examine what you do with your phone, like who you communicate with, what messages you have, your personal thing, yes, and what you talk about and that type of thing. You know, people send information, say,
in the airport, them a check that. In the airport, them a check that.
Yes, at the airport. So what some people say that they're going to do, they're going to leave the phone at home and travel with what them call a travel phone where they have no. Yes.
Which airport am I do that, you know?
No, well, it's applicable to all of the airports coming into the States. All of the airports.
That's so now way to me, though.
Yes.
That's so now way. Take away your phone and I search it.
Well, Trump is more than so now way. It's Trump's policies then, you know what I mean?
So how we not see that in the news? How we not see that in the news?
Well,
most of the time when Trump do them, when Trump do madness, you always see it in the news, you know. Cause but them not ease him up anything him say. Or him look, just how him feel, how him think. Anything them always put in the news.
Well, this is the report. Well, you know, this is the news thing that I have been made aware of recently. So you can check further on.
All right, check. All right, what am I look for? When I check it, what am I look for? Check. Random
phone checks by immigration at U.S. airports.
You know about news people where do it.
No, I don't remember off the top of it. But if you put in random phone checks by immigration, customs at U.S. airports, that should lead you on to think about that, you know?
Yeah. All right. Last week, a Virgin called me after your talk about coffee. Him say our weight name they did up. With I say that is why she never do another album with them. Him say it's up there.
No. Okay, I hear what you say. No, what it is. What she has a record label called Promised Land. But Promised Land, her record label, had a distribution deal with RCA. But RCA chose not to renew the distribution deal because the sales that they were expecting from her music and things wasn't what they wanted or expected, the volume and things. That is what it is.
Okay.
So it's a distribution deal by RCA. That RCA refused to continue with, you know, they dropped that, you know, and things. But
I think it says too, she do an album. She do an album there with Oliver White. No, I think it does say she do an album where them never accept. And then you start to talk about the musician them.
That them drop her from that in terms of the distribution deal, because I say she's with Promised Land Records, who did get that distribution deal with RCA, but RCA are the ones who dropped that deal. You know, it's not Promised Land Records, as if they say we don't want RCA to distribute any more of coffee stuff, you know. It's RCA who made that decision.
So all the white people think it coming out music, all that it coming out?
No, well, Promised Land Records is owned by is a European guy named...
yeah, but all of the artists them depend label European depend. All me depend European white people label. So, I don't understand.
No,
the label me depend Shana K. Shana K is white people own Shana K.
Yeah, Shana K just like Heartbeat Records and things.
Heartbeat people are white people too.
Yes, I know that. Chris Wilson, that used to distribute, had some license deal with some Studio One records.
Yeah, but when I say all the white people with Western Indian did coming out, the music, white people music, did coming out with the coffee. And that you talk about.
I'm saying, that coming. You know, we have our own record labels and that type of thing. But some of our artists in their career have deals with European labels and that type of thing. You see? Just like how me have my Mandingo record label as African then. But you have Europeans after them own label, and sometimes them do deals with our African people from Jamaica. We know that and that type of thing. And one of the things that has happened over the years, which I know of personally, as a veteran in the music field, is that a lot of times the kind of music that the European record companies want the Jamaican artists them to do then is watered down or diluted in a way that it do have the punch and vigor like what brought them to the attention.
Yeah, well, that's a long time thing, you know. That don't know with no man, a long time thing that. And the punch them want of the music, you know, that them a crave for. That's why them not accept the dancehall music, because them a say, well, them didn't know when them start. I know where Jamaican a producer, you know. So them want the punch.
A lot of nonsense has been produced, but there's also some good new music that has been produced, so which you mention albums by Upton, Lindo, and other people, and so on. Novelty and other people on the radio shows we have played good albums. So we still have good reggae albums and things which are out there produced by our own people. You understand?
By the same people them we are talking about who are talking about who want the punch. Them want the punch now, them white people there. When you go to Europe and see 100,000 people stand up in front of you, and majority are white people. It's certain
well, it could be the majority because the majority of people in Europe.
But when I say it's burning spear and the people them who you think say them not listen to, that them I listen to. I know them youth and them I listen to now because them say no punch no night. The most of the festival them in Europe. And the old-time artists, them depend it. I know they know them artists are depend.
No, but I know that in the majority of cases is the artists from the 70s and that type of thing.
Yeah, the punch, one them have the punch.
Yes, you know. But you have a few of the younger artists them who are attracting a growing attention
of course.
By people at the music thing, and that is why I mentioned artists who I play who making current good reggae music and that type of thing. That's why I mentioned that, you know. So it's an ongoing process because we continue producing new and good reggae music, which is still being done. Still being done.
Yeah, no, when I say Mandingo, the white people me talk about no, you know. The white people them who you say don't want the punching of the music and them somewhere. And that them wanting of the music because that lasting of the music now. And that them wanting of the music. That is why the festival full of pure punch.
No, there's a distinction between those who attend the festivals in Europe there where you talk about.
And
I'm talking about some of the record companies that tried to, in the past, dilute the music. Some of them.
But that's what I mean, that's a long time something. That's a long time something. I don't know. That's a long time something. That's a long time something, man. You're living in the past, man. Them never want them. Them people want the punch. Them want the punch tonight.
No, I disagree with you on that. And what I'll do in future is that I'll make a list of kind of recent type of thing to illustrate the point.
Where them say them no want here, where the white people them want produce, distribute to them no want that?
Yeah, me talk the actual companies as opposed to those who...
Yeah, but I know because the punch
the festival.
Yeah, but I know because the producer, the distributors me attack, you know. I know they because them no want hear the punching of the music, why them not take the music. Because that them want hear. And that me I say, the white record company them know where distribute music. Is the punch them want of the music?
The current ones them.
No.
That's what you are saying.
No, I talk about record companies on a whole now.
Yes, of course, a record company.
Where white people control.
Yeah.
Where white people control. Them want to hear the same punch like where Burning Spear used to get, and the same punch like where Abyssinians, and them kind of punch them want. I don't like first time. First time, yeah, them don't want that. But now, them realize that this is what is make the music. So them realize.
You know what you say? You say, no, them realize that is what is needed.
Them want it now.
No. So that precisely shows the point of when I said that there was a time when they never want that kind of post. In your own words a while ago, you said, no, them realize.
Yeah, but me never disagree with them. But me never disagree with what you say. Me never disagree with what you say, no. Me say first time them never want, no, me never disagree with what you say. First time them never want hear that in the music, but now it's a different thing.
Right. Because
even me go through that. Yeah, but me go through that, you know. Me go through that with certain record company no want to take me through them because them say me a racist and them something. Me go through that.
Yes.
But them not say that. Them want the way I distribute them not say that now.
Just like how them used to want cut out the Jamaican musicians traveling to back the actual artists when it's them make the music with the artists.
Yeah, because them say
you used to refuse you like me against the fact that the Jamaican musicians who make the music with the artists being denied to tour with the artists them and never rate the artists them who abandon them Jamaican musicians.
White people play the music.
Play instead.
Yeah, them make white people play the music on stage.
Yes, and box the food out of the mouth of the Jamaican musicians who actually made the actual music and that type of thing. Because we are aware of that situation for some years.
Yeah, well, the man tell me now, a man has a Muta watch now. If a man want him on the show and him can't afford to send the band from the band for video car, and him a provide him with a band, him a go sing with the band. And that's what I'm saying.
Well, you have some artists who are like that. You and I know that and thing, but you have some artists who hold to the thing and say, no, my band have to come with me.
Yeah.
So those are the artists who I support, the ones them who don't sell out them fellow Jamaican musicians and things. So me applaud and support those ones straight up, you know, and not the ones them who just business with themselves and dash overboard. The very Jamaican musicians who make the music that hit, why them can get jobs abroad and that type of thing. Because, you know, you're the European artists, and when they tour the world, I say, no, I'm not going to travel with my band. You know, I'll get the bands, the musicians in the countries where we're going to play and back for us. No, them not do that. Them stay and travel with them own bands where them have, whether it's from England, States or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Find money to send for them.
Yes, exactly. You know, so we respect those who stand on that principle, because we have to stand strong because it's together we rise, or together we fall. And self-reliance, we have to stick together so that we move together as a people, together, you know, in all areas of life. You know what I mean? For real.
Yes. We're going to move, you know. We're going to move.
Yes. All right. So everything is everything. Blessed Marcus, the party we want in Jamaica. That's what
they not come start it, man.
Yeah, but all right, no wrong. We never stop on that mission.
A long time I don't see you down here, you know. A long time I don't see you.
It's an ongoing thing, Muta. I'm not stop, and I will continue, and I'll keep you posted where that is concerned, because it is needed. PNP and GLP is no solution for Jamaica, for Africans in Jamaica. We need a Marcus Garvey Pan-Africanist party,
straight.
All right,
and
sir.
Jamaica must become an African republic. Every time. And that's where the Privy Council. Every time. Mandingo says so.
All right.
In 1850, one of America's history's worst laws was passed, the Fugitive Slave Act. What can be described as one of the darkest days in America's history.
All right, we have to stop this because the time ago. And this is kind of a little longer than the time we have. Well, we have the time to play it, but we add them and people are called, we don't want to cut it up and all them something, you understand? So you have to see it. Well, you can't see it because you don't even know where you're going to listen to anyway. You don't even know where you're going to listen to anyway. So, you know, the next call up on the line, no? No call up on the line, no? So I could find something to play then. A long time, you know, Congo Billy, we see Congo Billy, Congo Billy, you're one of the best, you know. In a way, I do believe you me. Yeah, man, the man can play percussion, that's that. Right.
I tell you, man, I hope in this line, me, dip on the line, you know, man. Yes.
So everybody's get you and you don't get you.
I just don't know. I want to tell you, I have to big up the telephone operator, because she just called me back and I tell me, say, somebody was in the queue before me, about 3 to 4 somebody, so. I just have to go and brace, you know.
Okay, sir. All right.
So she just turned me on. I know when I tell me I one day if I sleep, I sleep too, you know.
Oh, me? They never hear me talk to people. You never hear me talk to people.
Yeah, me hear you, but the thing on my phone call, I sleep on. Yeah, you talk.
We don't know who call me with what you. We don't know who call me with what call me.
You know, that several times you try to reach you and I hold the line to tell all the program done. And my call no answer, brother. Anyhow,
all right, when you call answer, you know I not say nothing.
But me I say something. Were really relevant.
All
and
right,
yes,
sir.
God, yeah, man, Mr. Tell you what go on. All right. Boy, there are so many things to talk about. Some of them I not even remember what me I go say. You trust me. Yeah, man. You recognize how the people them are go around and paint up the place in agreeing with some fake paint motor to win the confidence of the people them again. You see anytime that fake paint, the rubber motor.
Well, got me the fake paint rubber.
Who's to ever live receipt? We don't know yet, but who's to ever live receipt? Because I see some theocratic government going in a Guana, you know, where I be a dictatorship and then I whole heap of sit me off here chop up in a motor because I hear the Prime Minister come out the other day come offer the people they want like $1,000 per $15,000. He come in like I say I hunger me and Brian we work on RFM hear it. Trust me, you know.
Hear me talk about it. Hold on. Yo, you never hear me talk about it. You never hear me talk about it.
And somebody tell you to because sometimes I say
somebody must tell me. Then must somebody tell me.
You
I know everything me hear. I know everything me hear.
Local news.
Yeah, me never follow local news at the time.
Me hear you, man. Me hear you.
Then me not hear it. That means me hear it.
But me not hear it coming right now, but yes, not hear me not hear nobody talk about your motor. And then if I ask the whole Jamaica right now, if they're satisfied with it, me not think nobody are going to put up their hand, you know. Me not hear nobody. After these people take, when they call for themselves maximum wage workers, yes, the maximum wage workers, man, them take 250% for themselves and I give people $1,000 out of it. Motor.
I hear you, man.
And when you break it down, you see when you break it down, motor, you know what cost this. You know what cost this?
Wow.
Simple meaning to say certain class of people, you know. The thing is so unbalanced. You know, I want it where they call seesaw.
Yeah.
One end of the seesaw up in the air and one end down a ground. I saw that system, I said, because, you know the reason for that? Them claims say, the
public sector worker them not getting enough money to pay the minimum wage worker them, so them have to just satisfy with any little thing. Listen to me, man. I tell them out really sad. Really sad. Because I don't know what $60,000 can do in this time. You have to make the best use of it, killing. But if I want to work whole week, you have to travel, you have to pick me if you go to school, traveling to where some people are working, you know, traveling expenses alone. Can't all right.
Something wrong with your phone. Something wrong with your phone.
So, yeah, all right. You hear me though?
Little bit, it's a corner come.
Yeah, man, I really happy for that. No, you hear about one married and shoot in a St. Mary, one big businessman, them out.
And what I'm to him? Them not dead?
Yes, I actually if you hear about it.
I hear a little about I don't know what is the circumstances, but you
all
tell
right.
me.
I want you to keep your eye on it, because I see them are hold nobody for that shooting. Yeah? To we are blowing an ear, to the mystic we are blow through the ear. Me I go listen, keep your eye on it, check it out if them are going to hold somebody for that shooting. Yeah?
What you think? You think them are going to hold somebody?
To where mystic we are blow through the area, brother. Remember me tell us, as me say, make we keep your eye on you and see if them are going to hold somebody.
No, but me ask what you think. You think them are going to hold somebody?
I don't know if you say yes or no in a motor.
Okay, all right.
As me say, I keep my eye on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And then the next thing again, motor. Where the purpose of Rehabilitation Center for?
To rehabilitate you.
All right.
Make you come back to society better.
Nobody life to go rehabilitate them again.
But nobody what?
The man them not carry nobody life. The police them not carry nobody life to go rehabilitate them again.
Oh, you mean, well, them say, the Prime Minister say, you have to go meet your maker.
Well, listen to me, Muta. You answer a question before me even ask you. You say it before me even ask you. Because if a man really listen to the what come out of that man, them out, and the Minister of National Security, them only left to tell the man, them say, kill them.
Well, what if a man would have got in front of you?
No.
You have to go prepare for it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is it from there? From there. Every man, the man them kill and say them find gun pan them. Then I wish madman them there. As me say, any man see a policeman or raise a firearm at a policeman in cup, run over in time come. So people don't know that.
So you know, if you say the man them a shoot up at the police them.
I know all of them motor, not at them. All right, you know what? So we have to chop up everything. I don't know if you hear last speech where the camera where these people supposed to carry upon them.
Body camera. Body camera.
But they must about the camera right now, because I wonder if they get them camera free or it cost money. After they had them camera so long, and people are say police to read them, the commissioner come out the other day and say, nobody can bully him to make police read camera because they don't have sufficient money to prepare the data to store the data of the camera them. So what's the purpose of them?
I don't know.
Where you had them for? Where then they get them free or then cost money?
A madness.
But them are going to spend money to so much something when I know use.
A madness, man. Every place the camera they're supposed to can have what is necessary for the store the way that camera. It's like a phone.
It's expensive.
No, but your cell phone, they don't buy cell phone with it. People buy cell phone and it store all the information in there.
Definitely, because I tell you, I do say that, you say, if you have a cell phone and then cell phone in your hand, multi coming like you have the whole world in your hand.
Yeah, it's store information.
When I have cell phone, they coming like you have the whole world in your hand.
And when you carry it in the core,
you have to think critical motor.
Wait no, man.
Yeah.
When the phone full up, you have a database where you go at that station or the headquarters and download it on a database, on a hard drive, and you keep it there as evidence or whatsoever.
Yes, store it.
Yeah.
Yes, so I don't understand when these people, they must listen to them people when them attack, you know. People feel listen to them people when them attack, you know. Be a careful listener, analyze things for yourself and think critical. You hear me say?
All right, sir.
Yeah, man, don't take them argument for it. And I want you clear. Me don't know if you're old and me or you're young and me to know this and music. But yeah, man, we have one music where we used to always say the two of them, Lord, them are wicked. Me not call no name, but me back no brag. From me back no brag, but them are wicked.
No, who sing it? Hold on, man. Who sing the song? Who sing it?
After me a youth, me I hear that tune there.
What the song name? What name? What name? What the song name? What the song?
Yeah,
the man that is Rasta.
I cannot even find it today, you know.
May I ask what the song name?
It's song, I don't know, but the
you don't know the name, I don't know who sing it, you want me to know.
Them lad are wicked, me not call no name for me back, no brother.
Me don't know what you're talking about. Me don't know the song what you're talking about. Because
yeah,
you're not telling me.
You know what stage, or you're young, me then.
No, I know that. You're not telling me the name of the song and you're not telling me who sing it.
Let me show when me from me a youth, me not hear that song again. From me a youth, me I hear that song.
Well, you're not going to hear it tonight because you're not telling me what name.
It's in a library there. Somebody I go find it because I know somebody out there.
All right, sir. All right, well, maybe somebody will call and tell me what name. Somebody will call me and tell me what name. All right?
Yeah, man. So you walk one before you run. You walk one. Before you run. You see if you don't find a song there?
Yeah.
Now we Congo have one song there where I say, make them fight it, Lord, make them fight it, that them organize it, make them drop them struck sleep.
Come on, tell me the name of the song.
Now we Congo, man. Him have a song.
Now we now we Congo. No, only now we Congo. I know now we Congo.
But one virgin let's see one music that I don't remember a Portland or one of them. Yeah.
And now we Congo you talk about, man, but tell me the name of the song.
The name, let them fight. I know the words of some of the words of the song, but I don't know the topic of the song. But the song say let them fight it.
Hey, man, go back to your bed and wake up and remember the song, man. Look here, go back to your bed and remember the name of the song and call me back. Yeah?
All right. Thanks. Yeah,
all right. Yeah.
I want to ask you. You forgot to ask Mandingo, why is it England have two citizenship?
Oh. You didn't tell me must ask him?
Yeah, you know, remember, I said on the cutting edge, I think once the same time when it was, I think before he was talking about the constitution.
I saw about all this?
Yeah, yes, Muta.
Oh, you don't want?
Yeah, man, blessed, give thanks to Rastafari's life, you know.
Why it just disappear so after the scene, man?
No, me not disappear. Watch this. There's a meaning that all of us have at a time when we have to take in within ourselves and going at heights. Some people call it a meditation. So it's that, you know.
Okay, all right.
Because Carl say something really quick. Are the quickest that I ever call the cutting edge and the cutting edge and talk. All right. So more whenever me no Mandingo listen right now in England, no Mandingo. You need to call Mutabaruka and tell him why is it England have two citizenship? The youth them of Jamaica and the world want to know that.
So you know?
Me don't know. That's why I want Mandingo know, because Mandingo is a man of a lot of education on certain things, especially through him is a British. All right, that is one. The other thing I want to say, motor. Well, regular when you and many other Jamaicans driving around Jamaica in the country area, we always pass a lot of food land. Me I tell you about acres of land that's empty, pure wild tree upon them. All right, me said that to get to my point. My point is this: at a period of Jamaica time history, it's in history. I think it was in either the 50s, the 60s or the 70s. Jamaica was the number one or in the top 5 country in the world that have the biggest exportation in banana. I remember when they used to have the banana boat, exportation. So my point is this: if all these political people have any interest in their nations and in the development of the economy of Jamaica, why one of these parties can look into the history of Jamaica, that they have the number one, are in the top 5 of the biggest exportation in banana in the world, and look what Jamaicans have done to the world. Why them can't start some development? We see the farmer, them all the while on TV. I say them foods, them are rotten and them can't get no market for it, but yet still, the people them who are around the country, them import every single thing that hard to grow a foreign, but easy to grow Jamaica, because Jamaica sunlight is 24/7 right through the year. We have sunlight 365 days of the year. And me just close it off with this. Muta, can you please pay the Mutabaruka and the Jimmy Cliff name, treat the youths right? And I want you play a Mutabaruka. You remember that Mutabaruka song you do with something Mangley. She's Michael Mangley's daughter.
Della name.
Yeah, more you play that song and see if you can find a Sabbath song near you. Yes,
how much thing you want me to play after the program soon done?
I listen, play the Jimmy Cliff the first time I asked you for Treat the Youth Right. If you can find the Edna Mangley tune with Michael Mangley's daughter, with you and her.
Della Mangley.
Della Mangley. Yeah, play that Della Mangley. Long time in a year you play it more.
Take a break and come forward. I would ask about.
Man. King James are you know?
Yeah, me know you, man. Why you have to talk quick though? It's going on a long time.
So, no rain not fall in the area?
No rain not fall, you know.
A long time in the car, 2 million, you used to stay with walk one if we pull our attack, you know?
Yeah, well, that's, you know.
So, yeah, what kind of fruit tree you have on the property there? You have a source tree? Eh?
You have source tree?
On the property. You have source tree there?
No, when we did have one, but it not be. Why you can't fast when I'm not your yard?
No, man, I want to tell you more. You use the source and just broke off and stop your foot, you know?
Stop my foot for what?
You never stop your foot there with the source leaf yet.
For what? When I stop my foot with source leaf for?
It's good for you, man, because you want to be a foot, you know?
For what? What you going to do? What you going to do to my foot?
It's your nerves. It's good for your nerves. That means you're strong, you know?
Oh, so where's my weak now? My weak now.
And then now, you use it, so don't flow. After you use the stopping, you use the raw flow over your foot bottom, you know?
So my weak, you know?
And so you're weak a long time, you want to be able to come in more, you use the sour stop leaf and stop your foot bottom, you know? And then
so wait, hold on there. Me weak?
A long time, I've been really weak. We are getting
so true, me walk barefoot, me weak. So true, me walk barefoot, me weak.
Not really say weak, see, but I don't want to do your still come on here on the radio every time, you know?
Yeah, but why you attack my foot, man? My face out the door too, you know, my face out the door.
No, but you put more, you know, I root this, I tree, you know, man. I tree, you know,
no, man.
You have to take every root.
Anyway, thank you for have concern still, but
if you use it, make sure you use the flour after you use it.
Who you know do it?
Me do it too, man.
You do it with sour sap leaf and flour?
After you use the sour sap leaf, you use the raw flour and rub on your foot bottom.
You do it already.
And it make me feel strong, man.
It make you feel strong?
Yeah.
But you know what, barefoot?
Yeah, but, you know, certain things, you know.
Certain things, you know what? Why? What is this man about? Certain things, you know what?
Man, can be different from my body, different from fear, you know, so me have to use it all the while, you know.
Yeah, but why you tell me I'm going to use it? No, I never use it yet.
You never stop a foot with source and leaf yet?
No, I'm older than you. I'm much older than you.
Okay, all right, Mouta. But make sure if you use it more, you use the flour.
How old is?
Good Friday, me at 57.
Yeah, 57.
18 April.
57?
57.
Yeah, I could have been your father, man.
But Mouta,
you
know what I say?
And that you call me for, man?
Yeah, I talk about me, I tell you, I talk to you about something now. In the Bible, you see? In the Bible, it say, I'm born 68. In the Bible, say, when the Bible say,
1,000 years.
No, man. Let Jah rise and let Jesus be scattered. And when the Bible again say, in a Genesis say, let there be light. You understand?
Yeah.
So I and I come back as the light, because when the light, at the whole light, the Lord want my Bible, he want the man who born with the light, because I say, I listen to a royalty, and Jesus a royalty, you know. So I and I come back as a natural man, more what Selassie and Jesus, because he light come back, you understand?
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Enough people there like me, we are natural people on the earth, you understand?
Yeah, you need some sourtap leaf.
Eh?
You need to wash your hand with some sourtap leaf, man.
Yeah, me use all my hand too, you know, too. All my hand me use wash my hand too.
Wash your whole body with the sourtap leaf.
You hear what me I say?
Should you tell me you can ask your wife to wash your with the sourtap leaf?
Eh?
Ask your wife to wash you with sourtap leaf.
All right, sir. Well,
all
right. What me I say? You see, if I want to know Jesus soon dead in a motor.
True.
Because
it's
a black heart woman called Jesus dead, you know.
Me gone.
You understand?
Yeah, me gone.
Selassie the first, you don't know, all of that's curse. Big up yourself, Shane, Crow, all Irie, everyone. Jamaica, want to talk about our situation as a people. Muta, discussion of the matter. The $3 trillion, that's the most important thing why man call for reason they have, you know. One them give us some confirmation on the $3 trillion, because like I said when I break it down the last time, every Jamaican forget $225,000. That is where the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance owe to every individual in Jamaica.
You know to them now give it though. You know to them now give that though, don't it?
No, it's not say what them are going to do in the motor. It's where we are discuss. You see me I say, so we have to make them know so we know what go on.
Okay, so it's not that you want the money, it's that you want them know so them have them owe you, that's what you say.
Yeah, because of the fact say, they might do these things like, they might give a raise up here or whatever, less income tax, take out. Just give everybody the $225,000 with them owe right now. And Jamaica economy have a boost up and everything have a nice. As far as the governance of the country, the infrastructure is in tatters. This is the whole emphasis of government, you know. The Jamaica Labour Party want to win for that third term. They have to show some significant resolve in them method towards the government conditioning of the infrastructure then, importantly, the medical situation. It is so atrocious that the people, they know what to do with themselves. Yeah. They have to remedy that.
All right,
Prime Minister Dr. Holness, Miss Williams, Minister of Finance, Chong. Them three people are responsible right now for all the things we are going in Jamaica. And them to step up to the plate. We not give them no buy. We not make them go through the gate without them pay the expense. And the expense is them want leadership. Them want to claim say them in charge of this whole society in Jamaica. So my view is really the matter at hand. The people them to come out and show a significant amount of protest. You have a thing with them called protest, you know, under the Constitution. Right to redress, you know. So we want to see that. And significantly, we give them till this month, April, to legalize the marijuana. Rastafari have a significant element of economics in the country in terms of possession, not in terms of maybe. So
if them not do it by the end of this month, where you go do?
No, it's not where I go do more. So the people are going to do if the government don't do what they're supposed to do.
By the end of this month. By the end of the month.
If the government don't make a significant change with them make by a certain time, then the people just know, say, when the time comes, we get some new people in there. Because that is where we get the right to do. You know what I mean? I want tell Mr. Blake, say, him doing a good job.
Only Mr.
But
Blake.
the members then to step up in a more appropriate way.
Only Mr. Blake.
Mr. Blake, Mr. Blake, his name?
Me don't know what you want to Blake. Me don't know how you
are. Name, Kevin Blake, head of security, same name?
Commissioner of Police.
Commissioner of the Police, Commissioner.
Dr. Kevin Blake.
Yeah. I mean, we did a good job, you know. And the youth, them to realize, the banner of Rastafari is not about going out there and doing some craziness with no weapon because you're a man of a personal conflict. The banner of Rastafari is love, you know. So love each other one to another. But Dr. Kevin Blake, as I could say, you're doing a good job in terms of trying to control the crime situation. But the rank and file have to change them whole concept of dealing with the people. You have to deal with the people on a more orderly basis. And though, it's like them saying, no, true, you have the paper, you have to throw it in the people them eye. You know what I mean? So, we want them things to kind of come about in a more orderly fashion. Like me say, big up yourself, Mutaka.
All right.
You're there on it. So I say, much love, more life, more strength. Respect.
Blessed man, blessed.
Yes, sir.
And it just fade away. Not to be heard of anymore. That's why we have the music. Music come and music go, don't it? Anyway, here we go. Here we go. We'll be live at the National Arena. IRFM will be there and Stepping Razor will be broadcasting from 2 to 6. We'll be there.
President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Sidney Thwaites, says challenges are anticipated with the new import taxes being imposed by the United States. This after yesterday's unveiling by U.S. President Donald Trump of plans for new import taxes on all goods entering the country, with a baseline tariff on all imports of at least 10%. The 10% tariffs are expected to come into effect on April 5, with the higher duties starting on April 9. There is uncertainty among Jamaican manufacturers about how new import taxes introduced by the United States will be implemented. Mr. Thwaites explains that the cost of Jamaican goods sold in the U.S. market will be more costly.
What we're expecting is that there will be some challenges and potential to change the flow of goods regionally and potentially affect the supply chains, a lot like what we saw in 2004. So that's a potential challenge. Obviously, it's going to make the products from outside of the U.S. less competitive relative to the products in the United States, and that's going to take time to work through, the system. We don't exactly know what impact that's going to have. It doesn't appear that we're going to be at a disadvantage over other countries, but it's certainly going to make our products in the U.S. more expensive, and that could have some impact over time.
Mr. Thwaites says JME members also expect new opportunities arising from challenges which will come with the increased import tax in the U.S.
But what we do expect also is some opportunities in there. So we've been encouraging our members to be nimble, to be curious about how these things are implemented, to stay in touch with what's going to be seen, to talk to all of those who may have a perspective on this, and just get ready to be nimble, because there's going to be some opportunities, we believe, in the midst of some of the challenges.
President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Sidney Thwaites. People's National Party senior member Raymond Price has called on the government to release the full disaggregated water safety data to the public. This in the wake of claims and counterclaims about the water quality supplied by the National Water Commission to customers in Kingston and St. Andrew. His party colleague, Deputy Opposition Spokesman on Health, Jesse James Clark, had first raised concern about the water quality, but the NWC and the government have chastised Clark for making false claims. At a recent press briefing, Clark presented data to substantiate his claims, but the government chastised the opposition for seeking to score political points. Reacting to comments from the government on the issue, Mr. Price indicated that the issue is not just about public health, it's also an environmental and community crisis.
The government's own report for February from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation shows that the water in parts of Kingston and St. Andrew had higher than acceptable levels of coliform bacteria. That means the water was unsafe, full stop. The cause? Animal waste, pesticide runoff, and poor environmental controls. And yet, we've heard nothing meaningful from the government or from the National Water Commission. No apology, no urgency, no real plan.
PMP senior member Raymond Price. He also underscored the long-term effects of water contamination on public health, on ecosystems, and on national productivity. Price is imploring the government and NWC to urgently address the contaminated water issue. Finance Minister Favour Williams has indicated that the country's economy did better than expected in the fourth quarter of last year. This as the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin reported in its quarterly results for October to December 2024, significant growth in the gross domestic product GDP at a negative 0.8%. This is a better projection than had been given by the Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ results of negative 1.8%. Mrs. Williams noted that some sectors, to include tourism, performed better than expected.
It is important for Jamaicans to understand that PIOJ and Statin provide us with quarterly and annual GDP figures. PIOJ provides us with an estimate of GDP growth earlier in the following quarter, while Statin provides a definitive GDP growth figure. While the GDP growth figure for the December quarter is negative 0.8%, it is significantly better than the estimate PIOJ thought that we would have experienced, which is negative 1.8%. PIOJ has indicated that the areas of variation were primarily in wholesale/retail and tourism. This means those sectors did better than anticipated.
She stressed the importance of having buffers to protect against economic shocks.
In the hotels and restaurant sector, the recovery is quite evident there as well, moving from the negative 4.9 to a significantly smaller negative of 0.3%. As a government, we remain committed to our growth agenda, which we know is sometimes disrupted by devastating weather events, and that is why our efforts over several years to build buffers to help protect this nation and our budgets are so incredibly important to maintain. We continue to build Jamaica, land we love. We all choose Jamaica.
Finance Minister Favour Williams. Rehabilitation work on the Troy Bridge on the Trelawney-Manchester border is progressing well and should be completed within a few weeks. The update was given by Works Minister Robert Morgan in Parliament on Tuesday. The work is being done under government's Priority Bridge program. Work on the Craig Mill Bridge in Portland is also being carried out under this program. Morgan said efforts to erect a temporary footbridge at Craig Mill are far advanced.
The Priority Bridge program, which will be dealing with critical bridges, some of which have already started, we can announce that the Troy Bridge is over 50% complete, which is a $230 million investment. The Spring Village Bridge is at 5%, which is a $250 million investment. The Craig Mill Bridge in Portland, valued at $170 million, is in emergency procurement, but a footbridge is to be constructed at a cost of $30 million. Southwood in Clarendon, Barham Westmoreland, Guanaba Vale in St. Catherine have completed feasibility studies and are moving to the PIMS appraisal phase. The Mahogany Vale Bridge in St. Thomas is being repackaged and retendered to facilitate completion, and we just awarded a contract of $30 million for some urgent repairs to the Alley Bridge.
As for the Accelerated Bridge program, Morgan reiterated that more than 50 bridges are to be either built or fixed over a 3-year period. Targeted bridges include Shooting River Bridge in St. Thomas, Pedro River Bridge in Clarendon, and Black River Bridge in St. Elizabeth.
Colleagues would have been very concerned about the state of our bridges. Jamaica has 800 bridges, many of which are aging and require urgent repairs or replacement. To accelerate this program and to fix our bridge infrastructure, we have launched the Accelerated Bridge Renewal Process with the support of the Ministry of Finance. This bridge program is funded through a combination of recurrent and capital budgets and will be implemented over the medium term.
Works Minister Robert Morgan. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Moy Crawford, has welcomed the announcement of Jamaica's third national park in Mandeville. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness had announced the project in Parliament and again at the recent Manchester Chamber of Commerce Annual Awards banquet. Ms. Crawford's support also comes in the wake of criticism by Mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, who pointed out that the parish already has the Cecil Charlton and Stanley Edwin Brooks parks and that it would have been better for the government to focus on other issues such as the Mandeville market. She noted that the park will offer families a vibrant space for play, exercise, relaxation, and to enjoy entertainment events.
Many community members have already begun to express their excitement, suggested locations and names for the park. Names such as Heritage Park, Liberty Park, Mandeville Family Park, the Oasis, and the Sanctuary. It is understood that the new national park in Mandeville will be strategically located, spanning numerous acres with amenities for all ages.
Ms. Crawford also said Mandeville deserves a national park that reflects the spirit of excellence and industriousness, and any opposition to this planned project is both short-sighted and anti-development.
No well-thinking resident of Mandeville will deny our need for an inclusive and accessible state-of-the-art facility with play areas, scenic walking and biking trails, open fields for sports and picnics, and designated areas for community events and gatherings which foster community spirit and promote physical and mental well-being.
Member of Parliament Rhoda Moy Crawford.